I've had a lot of questions by email and direct message and so on about the Luton Airport Carpark Fire, about who is responsible, who can be sued, more specifically whether the car park can be sued and how it all works. Now, most of these questions are relatively straightforward, but the fact it's complicated because there are so many vehicles involved. The estimate is around 1,500 vehicles, which even if it was only £10,000 per vehicle, which it's likely to be more than that on an average, clearly that would be £15 million worth of vehicles, and the car park, relatively new, was around £20 million worth. So we are looking at many tens of millions of pounds worth of damage, and the reports are that most of these vehicles are not going to be economically salvageable. So who sues who and how does it work? Now, clearly, this is a large-scale event with lots of vehicles involved, and as I said, the reports indicate that it is likely that most vehicles are not going to be salvageable, and so each of those vehicles are going to need to be paid for by some kind of insurance. So who does a vehicle owner sue? Well, quite simply, the vehicle owner is going to go to their own insurance company to claim for the loss of the vehicle or the damage to the vehicle if it is salvageable. Whether it is a comprehensive policy or a third-party fire and theft policy, in all but the most extreme and strange cases, the insurance policy is going to cover the loss of the vehicle. But then people ask, well, what is the insurance company going to do and who are they going to recover these damages from? Well, ultimately, if it is determined which one unlucky vehicle owner it is, which they believe that it to be a diesel-powered vehicle, not an electric one, which many people are so quick to jump on these days, it seems to be a diesel-powered vehicle that is responsible for the cause of this fire. Either, they seem to think, by an electrical fault or some kind of leak in the fuel system. Now, all of these other insurance companies may ultimately seek to recover their losses from this one unfortunate vehicle owner and respective insurance company. That is yet to be seen. That would then potentially be a group litigation, which there are specific rules for, if indeed one vehicle was highlighted as the culprit for the start of this fire. Not only that, the car park clearly is going to need to be paid for in some sense or another. The car park will probably have its own insurance policy, and it too may look to recover those losses from the unlucky vehicle owner and their insurance policy. But the question that's come up again and again is, can the vehicle owners sue the car park, even though most car parks, and presumably this car park, have a broad disclaimer to say that they are not liable for the loss or damage to a vehicle in these situations? Does that mean they can't sue them at all? Well, the short answer to that is no, it doesn't mean they can't sue the car park at all. But the very slightly longer version is that it's probably not worth it, because the vehicle owner would have to prove negligence on the part of the car park owner and causation between that negligence and the damage or the loss of the vehicle, which they're not likely to be able to do. Unless, of course, there was some form of negligence on the part of the car park that caused the damage to the original vehicle, which then in turn set fire to everything else and caused everybody else loss. But that's not likely to be the case. It is likely just to be one vehicle, as it seems to be the case thus far. And as I mentioned earlier, that unlucky vehicle and their unlucky respective insurance company that may look to be fighting off these claims for many years to come. Because most of these claims do take several years to come to fruition if they go all the way through to trial and there's no sort of settlement in the meantime, because many of these claims do take a long time just to allow for discussion and settlement, and many claims do settle before they go to court, of course. But if they don't, and they do find a definitive culprit, then there may be a significant group litigation much further down the line. Now, the way that this usually works, if there is one set of facts that gives rise to a number of different claims with varying degrees of connection, then there may well be one or a number of different claim forms onto which multiple claimants will lodge their claim, all of which likely to be against one defendant insurance company. As I say, if it is definitively and conclusively shown that one vehicle was the cause of this fire. There is some good news, however, because I've read that some brokers have established dedicated phone lines for customers that have had difficulties, that they are going to waive the policy excesses for vehicles that have been lost or damaged, damaged, that customers are still going to benefit from their no claims discount, and various other costs are going to be covered as well. Because it's estimated that around 50,000 people have suffered delays and losses as a result of this fire. So I know this video is a few days after the event, but I've had lots of emails about it in the meantime. So I thought I would do a quick video here just to explain to everybody how this might work. And again, the short version is that vehicle owners are simply going to have to speak to their own insurance company, and they're not likely to get very far suing the car park, because there's nothing yet that I've read about that would suggest that the car park is in any way negligent, much less that it would have caused this fire, which would be a necessary point to prove if anyone did want to sue the car park. But just like any other case, when you're involved in an accident or your vehicle is lost or stolen or anything else, just like when all the Land Rovers and the Range Rovers are being stolen and some insurance companies are flat out refusing to insure them. More about that in another video, so make sure you like this one and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.